What's up, Youth Factor? Jared here, and today we are going to talk about flashcards.
Do you think I'm crazy? I've done all this before.
Alright, so what's the deal with the flashcards? Well, here's the thing. I had this idea a month ago, I think, with these little flashcards. I was studying some scriptures on shutting your mouth, basically, and taming your tongue, all that good stuff. And I was like, man, these are good, but we forget this stuff. You need to, write these down and keep them with me. And then I have all these flashcards in the classroom just from, I honestly don't know why. I'm just lousy with them. This is like 1/8 of the flashcards I have. I've had them out, and as you can see, I've got scriptures written on them. And I was like, I need to start writing these on the scriptures on these. I've been sitting here, I haven't done it. Finally, yesterday, broke out the pen and I started writing down scriptures. And I started off with 10 on guarding your tongue. And then this morning I did 10, I think I only did 9 on healing. I've got a bunch of scriptures pulled I'm going to write down on like prosperity and success and work. So it'd actually be 2 sets of 10 is the prosperity/success. Did you see that hair thing come off this? Like that fuzz? Slid in my mouth. That's gross. Just as I'm studying things and I'm going through things, because what I'll do is here's kind of how I approach. I'm immersive when I want to learn something, like a new topic. So what I have YouTube Red, and what I'll do is I'll search on the topic and I'll just download 10, 15, 20, 30 videos on the topic. And I probably won't get through all of them because most of them are hour to 2 hour long sermons or teachings. So I don't get through all of it, all of them, obviously, if I have that many. But I download them all, they're all queued there, and then as I'm doing stuff. So for the last 2 months, I've been going home every day, almost every day, and playing Minecraft for 4 or 5, probably 2 to 4 hours on average, and just listening to these sermons. I can listen to them at 2x speed on YouTube Red, speed it up, and I'm just listening. I play Minecraft. I do other things too. I listen to them while I'm driving. I listen to them sometimes at school if I'm doing a large, if I'm editing photos. That's another thing. I've listened to a ton recently while getting caught up on editing photos in Lightroom. Can't really while editing video, but you get the idea. And I'm learning a ton of stuff, but then I was like, oh, I also need these scriptures to go along with it, so I remember them. And so I've had this idea, and so I did it yesterday. I wrote a bunch down. I'm gonna continue it. And the whole idea is obviously I don't need this whole stack. I'll just grab a few. And I just have my flashcards. And I asked one of my students, I was like, hey man, what if you could write one superpower per card, and then you had, as long as you had this possession, you had those powers. He's like, dude, that'd be sweet. That'd be so many powers. I was like, yeah. And I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, while not quite as literal, that's almost kind of the same thing with the cards. Is you write down a scripture, and then just when you have some free time, instead of pulling out your cell phone and playing Candy Crush, I know, what is that? Knife Hit. There you go. That's a little more modern. Instead of playing Knife Hit or for a few minutes, grab your cards out of your back pocket or something and just read through a few of them. So it's Jeremiah 53:17. But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord. 1 Peter 3:10. For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech. And just reading through these. And not that I'm trying to specifically memorize them, though that would be a cool side effect, but just the idea of really spending more time on a daily basis with scripture, and not let me pull up my phone and look at the verse of the day, and then we get distracted and see I have a notification from Facebook, and then Peter McKinnon put out a new video, and he was in it with Casey, which means Casey has one too. Let me go watch the Casey one. Not just having these just to go through and having there and reading through them on a continual basis. And what gave me, well, I already had the idea, but what really made it sink in is I was listening to a sermon by a well-known speaker, and he was talking about how he was sick and he was believing for healing, and he was quoting the scriptures, and after a week he finally said, okay, God, what's up? Clearly I'm missing something your word says. And he quotes some scriptures, God, and he's like, but I'm not seeing that healing. I know something's missed. I know you didn't miss something, so what am I missing? And God was like, does the memory of a potato sustain you? He's like, no. He's like, you're just quoting these scriptures from memory. You're not actually going and reading them and devouring them as if, the word. That really struck me as okay, the difference between I vaguely know this scripture, or I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and it's in the Bible somewhere, and so I'm just going to say that, versus actually looking up the scripture, and it actually is Jeremiah, it's not this one, and reading them, it's like the same idea between like, oh, I'm really hungry, so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to meditate on America's Best Wings. We're having an order in day tomorrow. We're doing America's Best Wings. That's what made me think of it. And thinking about that, thinking, oh man, those wings, and they're so good. And if I got the Philly cheesesteak with it, and I got it with double the meat with the chicken, and oh my gosh, and it's so good. And then the fries with the Old Bay and the wing sauce over it. Oh man, that's so good. I'm not full. I'm not satisfied. If anything, I'm more hungry. Didn't help me at all. Now, if I actually went and got that food and ate it, then I'd be satisfied, if that's what I was looking for. So same thing, like, it's great to memorize scripture and it's great to know it and you can boom quote it, but that's a different application. There's a difference between like, oh, I'm feeling tempted and I'm going to quote a scripture, or what should I do in this situation? Oh, I know this scripture. Or if someone goes, hey, what can you help me out in this? And then boom, you quote a scripture and you pray for the person. That's awesome. But if you're like really needing more than that, like he was needing healing and he was needing to actually go and read the scriptures and experience them, not just I remember the scripture from memory. And so this to me seemed like a great way to do that. You're carrying these around, just the act of writing them down is awesome, and then you carry them around and reading them. You're going to learn more scriptures. Two, you're really getting them in you versus just like, oh yeah, I can kind of remember the scripture. So this is my little tip. That's what I've got for today. Try that out. I know a lot of you, you're like, what's a flashcard? Go to the dollar store. They come in packs. Walmart, Target, any store, but you can get them from the dollar store. They come in packs a little bit thicker than this, and they're pretty cheap. I mean, if you, I think, go to Walmart, you're going to probably pay somewhere between $3 and $5 for like a 2-pack bigger than this. And then just, actually sit there and write them down and have them. I challenge you to do that for 2 weeks and see how that goes. And then leave a comment and let me know how that did for you. What it did, especially if you like deal with issues like I get a lot of prayer requests for like anxiety, depression, that kind of stuff, doubt, like doubting your faith. I get a lot of prayer requests for that kind of stuff from students asking me to pray for them. And of course the prayer stuff is great, and there's great scriptures that deal with that. Now imagine having a set of 20 different scriptures. Let's say you're dealing with anxiety and depression. You write out 20 scriptures about peace, the joy of the Lord, sound mind. The Lord is my strength, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Like all these, like 20 of those type of scriptures, you carry those around and you read those multiple times. Not all of them like super religiously, but like, maybe on the way home from school in the bus, you start feeling overwhelmed, you have some anxiety, you pull your cards out, you flip through them, and maybe in your bus ride, you read through the whole stack. And then maybe, you're sitting in class and you're a little early and you have a test and you're feeling anxious and you're starting to feel a little bit of panic attack coming out. So you pull them out and you read 2 or 3 cards before your teacher comes in and is ready for class. Just little things like that throughout the day. I really think that's going to be something that could really just rock your life and be, if you actually do it and you don't just go, oh, it's so dumb, it's so cheesy, but you actually do it. Like I said, try it for 2 weeks, and I'm going to try it more than 2 weeks. It's something I've been, like I said, thinking about for like a month, and I'm just now finally getting around to. So I'll report back on how it works out for me, and like I said, you leave a comment and let me know how it works out for you. All right, guys, until next time, be blessed.